Hey everybody, I'm Sam.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Will, and we are
Working Title!
Yar.
God. Give him an ugly face.
You said stupid face, right?
Ugly face.
Okay.
I mean,
Nailed it.
they can be like mutual, I guess.
I nailed it.
Guys, we're back.
Vinland
for
Saga.
Another episode of
Vinland Saga.
Season 1, episode
I don't know.
18, I believe.
I don't know. Will's in another world.
Out of the Cradle is what it's called today. Last on, boys, do you remember what happened?
The boys have showed up, and by the boys, I mean Thorkell and gang. And they're just cutting up all of Askeladd's former men. And Askeladd got beaten to a pulp.
Yep.
Thorfinn is ready to fight the three-fingered big man.
Alright, before we jump into it, Thorkell or Thorfinn?
Thorkell's winning. Thorfinn's getting his ass beat. Not dead.
Will?
Just remember the intro. He's beat to shit with a broken arm, it looks like.
True.
You know what? I'm rooting for David in this moment. You know? Fuck Goliath. We're going for the little man.
I will also say Thorfinn, because I want to see if he can actually pull off a win. So, underdog, let's hit it. Can't watch the video yet. Guys, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below what you thought when you saw this face-off. Who did you vote for, Thorfinn or Thorkell? We want to hear that. Say goodnight or good morning in your native language. Check out the Patreon. We got all those shows that you see above us, Full Metal, Vinland Saga, JJK, and Squid Games if you want to see them a week in advance. Make sure to check it out.
And it's not a market substitute. Go on, whatever anime streaming service you prefer. Come back to YouTube and watch your boys' reaction. We're gonna punch it. Bam! I'm so sorry. I've hit you, and I've hit you today.
Oh, it's all good, dude.
Oh boy.
Oh, we're already getting into it.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Oh boy.
That's his head. That's the intro. Whoa.
Ha!
Like, start throwing in your bets.
Not this kid.
He didn't tell anything.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't even know anything.
oh my gosh. Dude, they're like, look at this kid, he's a riot.
Oh, damn.
That's right.
Straight. Damn straight.
Yeah, he could easily cut all you guys down. Thorfinn. I hate that you can never actually see what that says. I know you say that like every week, but like it's so obnoxious. Like, it's up for 3 seconds and it's in the worst fucking font and coloring, so you can't read it at all with the background.
The third line, it was like, we die from scenes of the past or something.
I've actually read it during pause. It's like we live our lives like a rowboat. Like we always look backwards and never know what our future brings.
Okay.
Something like that.
I want to see that, goddammit.
He's not even here. He's still back with those guys.
Yeah. He's fucking them up. Dude.
Oh. Yes.
Alright, so hopefully we're gonna get it.
He sounds like Aaron's Titan.
Yeah. That ain't no battle, that's a one man.
Oh.
Oh no, Ragnar from the spirit realm is coming to speak to him. He looked old. Oh.
はい、お別れを申し上げに参りました。あなた様をヤルルとしてではなく、ごく普通の、それこそ農民が我が子を育てるがごとくにして参りました。
I wish I could have dreams that were as forthcoming as this.
Yeah.
Where I literally have to. This will be Canute just saying this to himself.
Yeah. Rip. Aww. That's really sad. Oh, dang. That's so sweet, actually.
Yeah, screw King Swan. He's got such a fatherly look too.
Yeah.
Big man, somebody you want to cuddle like a Santa Claus type.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I feel comforted. And he's like bleeding out of his ass.
It was like a side, but sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true.
Poor kid. I just love that the whole war he hears is just a man on shrooms.
Dude, he literally sounds like the Attack Titan.
He does.
Oh! Look at him!
Another man in headline.
There we go!
Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right.
Holy shit. Oh!
He's the mountain.
Fuck that, he's Hodor.
This guy.
He's turned into a demon.
Yeah.
What?
This guy's the worst fucking priest ever. He like just don't care. He's like, give me my wine.
If they want to die, let them die.
He just don't.
These two are just having a comforting conversation while men are dying like 20 feet from them.
Meanwhile, a crackhead is fucking picking guys up and tossing them. Aw, that's messed up.
ラグナル殿のあなたへの思いは愛ですか。彼はあなたの安全のために62人の善良な村人を見殺しにした。殿下、愛とは何ですか。
Made contact.
Damn.
Damn, he's cut the fuck up.
What'd he get?
Yeah, where'd he
Some
get
arms. I saw the arm bleeding.
いいぞトルフィン。お前にかなうやつは俺の手下に5人といないだろう。
Nice.
Damn.
Let's go.
前と同じ鎖片びらか。手足の毛を狙うのは有効だ。ロンドン
Yeah,
で
there it
九
is,
州
his
メラで
arms.
踏み込んで痛い目を見た。
なあ、トルフィンよ。お前はどう思う。本当の戦士って
To be a warrior.
なんだ。
Didn't he say that?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
愛とは何か。
He's gonna be thrown off his game now.
ラグナルは私を愛していなかったというのか。
はい。
ラグナルに愛がないのなら、正しく愛を体現できる者はどこにいるのだ。
そこにいますよ。
Ragnar or
Bjorn.
Bjorn's.
どんな聖者よりも美しくなった。愛そのものと言っていい。彼はもはや憎むことも奪うこともしません。
I'm so confused.
ここに打ち捨てられ、その肉を獣や虫に惜しみなく与える。
So just because he's dead, he can't do anything bad.
Yeah.
So that's the definition of
Of
love.
love?
It's very nihilistic monk.
Yeah.
Nothingness is better than something.
Yeah.
Yeah, death is
愛
love.
を完成させるのです。
Death perfects a person.
I mean, because a person no longer exists, I guess.
ならば親が子を、夫婦が互いを、ラグナルが私を大切に思う気持ちは一体何だ。
差別です。王にへつらい奴隷に鞭打つことと大して変わりません。ラグナル殿にとって王子殿下は他の誰よりも大切な人だったのです。おそらく彼自身の
Very jolly fellow.
彼のあなたに対する心弱い思いは差別です。
It's definitely a unique perspective.
Yeah.
そうか、
Discrimination against the rest of the world
分かってきた。
versus just him, you know?
I guess so.
まるで霧が晴れていくようだ。
He's had his realization. Whoa. Nice. That was smart.
Yeah, that hurt. Damn.
Oh.
まだ浅い。
He's got to cut off a whole limb.
分かってきた。この雪が愛なのだな。
そうです。
あの空が、
Look how real that looks.
あの太陽が、神の御業がこんなにも美しいというのに、人間の心には愛がないのか。
This episode is just getting fully deep. What in the world?
Yeah.
私たちがこのような生き物になってしまったのは遠い祖先が神に背き罪を犯したせいだと言われています。私たちは楽園から追放されたのです。
Oh boy. Oh.
Oh my
He
god.
just sent him to the moon.
Broken leg.
What the fuck?
足のバネで衝撃を
It does that like Team Rocket thing.
Blasting up again!
What?
Holy
Guys, What
fuck.
are we gonna do? What?
The birds.
Oh!
No. That's better than, I guess, landing.
Yeah, out of a branch stabbed him in the back.
Definitely broke some bones.
Uh-huh.
Dang.
You make Christmas, dude.
Oh my god!
I got stabbed in the back.
Look at him. He's saber-toothed.
I was just about to say that.
He's a demon. Oh
I
no.
want to see him go. Whoa.
No, no, no.
Calm it down, dude.
いけませんな。あの者は正気を失っている。
He's gonna pull out the blicky.
正気。正気
Oh,
の
look at that
人間
shot.
はこの世のどこにいるのだ。
Oh no. Oh no, he's having his Aaron moment.
Yeah.
同じ。
Never mind.
皆同じだ。
More sane than I thought.
誰もが等しく生の意味を知らず死の意味を知らず己の戦う意味さえも知ら
殿下。
ぬ。もううんざりだ。
You're just gonna let him die?
What voice actor is that?
It's Flock. Oh, frick's sake.
血を得て代わりに失ったもの手には入らぬ、それでも追い求めよというのか、天の父よ。
That was creepy.
He's like, wow, he's scarier than me.
哀れな戦士、最も愛より遠き者、
Dang.
楽園を追われし者。
Damn. The imagery of this episode is wild as hell.
我々の生は試され耐え続けるためにのみあるというのか。天の父よ、あなたの与える試練ではこの者の魂は救える。
Bro, what is this episode? This is wild.
Probably put down the alcohol, bro. Oh.
父よ、もはやあなたの救いは求める。
Damn.
あなたが与えてくれぬなら、我々の手でこの地上に再びの楽園を。
王子。
Otley, you.
Oh, you rat.
無事か。
なかったぜ。
動くな、腹をやられている。ビリバンド、
Willibald.
この者の手当てをしておけ。私は散った馬を捕まえる。
殿下、私は
He's
手当て
astounded.
にかかれ。元よりトルケルのところへ行くつもりだ。連中にそれを借りねば、その怪我人は運べぬ。
てめえがトルケルに捕まっちまったら意味ねえんだよ。
意味だと。そなたたちの戦いのか。
It was worth.
こんな戦いに
Yeah, I was
意味
gonna
が
say,
Ooh.
none of
だ
that
から
meant
もう死
anything.
ぬな。
So shut up and I'm gonna take charge.
戦士たちよ、私の家臣になれ。戦わねばならぬ時と相手を教えてやろう。
Wow.
そなたたちの戦いに生と死に意味を与えてやろう。それが
Nice.
What in the world, man? Well, we might not have to wait till season 3 anymore, Will.
For what?
What?
Oh, for
For
him
Canute to grow up.
Oh, for Canute to grow up? Yeah. It already happened.
In the
Okay.
span of like
Just like that.
Yeah.
5 scenes.
He needed his like spiritual awakening moment.
The death. Death is love.
You know, I know us on this channel, we do enjoy a good fight every once in a while. And I'd definitely say this episode might have been the big fight, but this was definitely more of like a, I guess what you would call a retrospective look on somebody who wasn't even a part of the fight as a whole.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I don't know. I like the blend of not making the fight the most essential part, or at least having the fight but letting there be progression occur.
Yeah.
With Thorfinn and Thorkell individually and also relationship-wise. And then also, I guess, Bjorn technically being a fighter with his own battle.
Yeah.
And giving Willibald and Canute some time to evolve a bit. What do you guys think of the episode?
Wasn't what I expected.
Definitely
I'll
not.
say that.
Definitely not. In a good way for you? Bad way for you? Like, what
I
are
mean,
feeling?
you both know me. I like battles, so I would say I'm the opposite of what you said. I would have liked to have seen more of a battle and less chit chat, but it was an okay episode in my eyes. Some of that stuff was a little confusing to me.
Yeah.
Just the whole phrasing is the word I want to use.
There was a lot of...
Just the whole
Yeah.
love isn't real I got from this episode. It doesn't exist at all. And the discrimination I thought was an interesting word to use in that.
Yeah.
I don't know what word I would use.
We can jump into that part. I think that's something fun to talk about in a second.
I actually really enjoyed this episode. I do love me some good fights.
Yeah.
But in my personal opinion, a lot of times, like, for me, I like thought-provoking content and stuff that makes you wonder or think or learn about, like, someone's perspective of how they feel about things, whether it's, like, you know, religion, life, or, you know, situational moments, like, or the story as a whole. Mm-hmm. I enjoy that personally, so I felt like there's a good balance of it was actually a pretty perfect balance of, like, having a fight while at the same time of having a fight having, like, a real
progression, like you said,
a real meaningful, like, development in someone's psyche that, like, meant something for, like, the story as a whole, but also just, like, figuring out who a character is as a person. So I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was confusing, but, like, once they brought, like... I at the beginning, it wasn't making sense, but as I get through it, to me, like, I understood it completely by the end.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sitting here thinking I actually did enjoy this episode.
Well, what's wild to me is... Like, I will have to flesh out some of the conversation pieces because there are things that I'm not fully understanding that we'll have to obviously discuss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But just right now, out of, like, just seeing it, I'm not, like, the most hyped, but I feel like this might have been one of my favorite episodes. That's really weird to say, but, like overall, the episode was, like, it didn't elicit a lot reaction-wise, but, like, just mentally, it was very, I don't know, there was something beautiful about it to me.
Yeah.
Like, even if I don't necessarily align my own beliefs with what Canute's conclusion was by the end of the episode,
Mm-hmm.
I was still, like, very beautiful how it was executed.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this episode, I don't know if y'all felt this way, but I felt like this episode was, like, got a production boost in the visuals for some reason.
Yes, absolutely.
I felt like this one looked like I was watching some 8K anime for some reason.
Yeah, especially in the moments with, like... Okay, like, there was
this atmosphere for me.
Well, there was, like... but in the beginning, like, fight-wise, like, there were definitely moments in the fight with, like, the 3D axe and, like, the snow effects and all that, and you're like, wow, and, like, and the movement of some stuff, but it seemed to, like, push the bar for the show. But yeah, but going back to, like, everything with Canute while he's having this realization to, like, the flashing of imagery from, like, Garden of Eden to, like, the way the scenery looked of, like, you know, when you were like, wow, that looks really real with the sky and the snow falling. And yeah, it was just, like, even, like, moments where it just, like, focused on, like, Canute's demeanor and face and like when Willibald is, like, realizing and it's just like right on his eye. I mean, like, that was like, whoa.
That's
every Willibald and Canute scene was just like
8K
beautiful.
anime.
Yeah.
I literally thought I was being treated to, like, a movie or something.
Yeah.
In that very brief moment.
Well, what I just said, when they focused on his eye, it's like Attack on Titan. It's the same fucking studio that made the first 2 seasons.
True. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait.
Man.
That's true.
So
I forgot about that.
Attack on Titan had the best description or depiction of eyes in the anime. So
They're really good
this was
with
amazing.
faces.
Yeah.
To start, we can talk about Thorfinn and Thorkell's fight as a whole. Were you satisfied with it?
Not really, because it's not over.
Yeah.
But
do you think it's going to continue?
I'm excited for the next episode. I hope it does. I want to see. Well, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I don't think that it will. I enjoyed it. I think the fights sometimes in the show overall have been, like, visually cool, or they would do, like, more daring things, but some of it is, like, it's kind of hard to explain. Like, I forgot that this is the same studio that did Attack on Titan, but when they did, like, remember the first time we fought Thorkell? And,
I was gonna bring up that episode.
Well, the first time we thought Thorkell, we had the POV thing. What did that remind you from an Attack on Titan?
I said in that instance, because I remember I said it reminded me of Aaron zipping around with ODM gear.
Yep.
That's not what I was thinking.
I was also gonna say Levi in season 3.
That's what I was thinking of, the Levi moment.
Same.
Like, but, like, that was more like, that was a very much more, like, intense moment of, I mean, granted, it was like 10 minutes of Levi, like, swinging around and fighting people, but, like, I feel like this show, like, pushes the bar with some interesting fight stuff, but like
it's not really what the show is
Some-
about.
But- yeah.
well, it's not,
Weirdly
it's not,
enough.
but
it's
not
like
what it's
lackluster to me.
It's
a
not-
little bit.
It's not what it's about, and I just think that it's not necessarily like memorable. Like
Yes.
it's good to pass,
Yeah.
but it's not memorable.
Right.
Yes.
Like I can't say how I'm gonna feel a year after the show's gone or by
Yeah.
the time season 2 comes out. But I'm gonna tell you, out of the stuff that we've watched on this channel, this is not gonna be my most memorable fight moment.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Of,
Agreed.
of what we've watched. So
I would say that first encounter with Thorkell is definitely memorable. In my opinion. IMHO.
with Thorkell.
Yeah.
You know
When
what?
you first meet him in London. I had a stroke right there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good moment. Also, sorry, I wasn't talking about... when I mentioned the fight with Thorkell, I meant when he fought when Thorfinn fought the people...
He broke into that city and had to
Yeah.
take the dude's
yeah,
head with the helmet.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's
agree.
what I...
But
yeah, that one and when he fights Thorkell. Sorry. Off track.
I just don't think... yeah, I don't know. Like, they're just not memorable moments. Like, I'm not... Like, I'm going to remember the show for the stuff of what we just saw in this
Yeah.
episode with Canute. And,
Yes.
like, the conversations with Askeladd. And, like... And even,
Yeah.
the flashback moments of Tor's, like, speech. Like, actually, the most memorable moment is the fight with Askeladd and Tor's. But it's not because of the fight. It's because of the
What the episode had to do with.
well, what it weighed and what it had to do with and what Tor said at the end of the day. That's been like the driving force
Yeah.
of what's happening with Thorfinn. You know what I mean?
It feels a lot about it feels very comparable to how I felt about the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones, because back then they didn't have the greatest budget to do big fights.
Yeah.
So they might trick the audience by doing spectacles every once in a while, but the reason a lot of people stayed was because the interest they had in the chemistry of the characters for like 9 out of the 10 episodes every season, because there's really no fights in the first 4 seasons.
There's not.
Barely. I mean, there's like two big fights over 40 episodes,
Yeah.
and then very tiny little fights with like 5 to 10 people.
1v1 or 4v8
Yeah.
or something. Like,
And those moments might be great for the show, but like that's never not until later seasons does that become a center thing, and then it's also
Yeah,
probably
The
why
debacle.
probably where the debacle comes in too, because it became too much of a center focus.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about this, where like the quality is actually really nice overall, and I don't worry about the quantity
Yeah.
of fights
yeah.
as a whole, which is surprising for a Viking show, because
Yeah.
Vikings, on the other hand, had a lot of big fights, but it also
It
had
also
a lot
had
of good
these moments,
conversations,
yeah.
too. So that's not a little bit harder to compare against.
Yeah.
Real quick, there was a lot of moments with Canute that it looked like what I said about Ed in last week's recording, where he looked older. Canute looks older now
Yeah,
with this awakening that he's had.
that one shot where it was like panned up
Yeah.
towards
Yeah,
his
and
face,
he had a gritty face
he had
with
a
the black
very
marks.
long face,
Yeah.
a long nose too, and he just looked like he was 10 years older.
Yeah.
Not the...
Elric?
Yeah.
Okay.
In
that's
Full
what
Metal.
I meant, yeah.
Did I not make that clear? Sorry.
No, I forgot his
Yeah.
name's Ed. It's such a odd name for anime character.
Yeah, I think that they... Because sometimes I feel like it's hard to portray in an animated TV show when it's a character that carries themselves as more mature and older. So I feel like they do little things to like make them like look older. Like, oh, you have now wizened a little bit.
How they carry themselves too.
Yeah.
Body language.
Yeah, but like it's hard. Sometimes I feel like it's hard to communicate. Like with a live action show, it's easy to like communicate that someone is just because like you can have like body language nuance, like stuff that shows maturity. Where it's like in this, you might be like, like make him like stand a little taller and more firm, and then
language will have to carry a lot of it too.
Yeah, so that's where I feel like a lot of times we get the like, let's make the face look more like determined and older or more mature in the moment looking, because it does. I mean, like in the earlier episodes, he looked like a whiny little 16-year-old girl, which is why we thought he was a girl the whole time.
Yeah,
and now it's like, oh, you look like a mature like man at this point.
A very beautiful man.
A very beautiful man. Yes,
Literally Barbie man.
yeah.
He's got nice ass hair. It's like flows perfectly, just like
Heavenly.
he was laying down in that bed, had all the spirals. I was like jealous.
If only.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, he is Flock. the voice actor, which is
sounded
really
like
cool.
Aaron for some reason.
I feel like somebody commented that. I don't
This
remember
dude,
where it
like, he's getting so passionate towards the end of the episode after he had the awakening.
Yeah,
Especially when Bjorn came towards him. He sounded like a completely different person.
Let's talk about that. Canute's mind. Because, okay, so the episode
Can I ask a question, though, before that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would we all agree that the priest... Does the priest even believe in God?
I think he does.
You think he does?
I think he does, and I think he disagreed with Canute this episode, while also being wowed by Canute this episode.
Just from how depressed it seems like he is. It could be the alcohol. I just don't think he believes in God.
I personally feel like he's one of those people who do believe in God, but like they
question it.
I mean, maybe just like every person in life, unless you're like a blind, obedient believer, which they exist too. But I feel like he's the type of person who believes in that kind of faith, but also has like the ideology of like, you know, those people who like they feel like because there's evil stuff happening in the world, they don't deserve to be happy, or like they feel like it's not right to be happy, so they always have to be in a state of
negativity,
sorrow, or empathy.
I didn't know there were people like that.
There's two philosophers. There were stories written about two philosophers a long time ago where, and it's basically how people. I don't know if it's like an accurate story, but it's I think what people use as an analogy for how you should conduct your life, and the whole argument is like, well, there's bad things that happen in the world, so you should never you don't deserve to have happiness. Like you should always be empathetic, which is like what some people do really believe in. They just live really like depressing lives, and then it's the mentality of like, yeah, this bad stuff exists in the world, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't conduct your life happy. Give thanks for like the happiness in your life, or make do of the privilege or blessings that you have in life because that was given to you. Don't let it be wasted, kind of thing. So I don't know if he falls into the more like depressing category.
I don't think it's that.
You don't think it's that?
I just think that the priest, because I mean he mentioned like the whole time it's like, what am I searching for? And he was searching for love. Like he was trying to he's trying to find where true love is or how to get true love. Like I think it's like he believes in, you know, God or like his faith, but it's like he's not getting what he wants from the faith. So he understands what the faith is, he believes in the faith, but he's not getting what he feels like he should from out of it. Hence why he like kind of drinks himself away, but also is constantly like, I don't understand, where is this, where is that? You know what I mean?
I think he's just struggling with his faith, probably. Like just the everybody wants to hear the actual voice of God talk to them.
Well,
to
right,
solidify.
But
there was that one. Oh, you go ahead.
Well, but that's all I'm saying is like he clearly believes in it enough to keep wearing the garb and shave his, or well, he doesn't have it's not the tooth with the shaved top, but you know what I mean. He believes in it enough to be following around this prince in the middle of the frickin' wilderness, still kind of being a priest. You know what I mean? He believes in it enough for that, but he doesn't like. He's not getting what he feels like he should be from it.
Yes.
Hence why he keeps questioning it.
Yeah. What were you saying though?
Well, because there was that one episode where. Did he not start questioning God? And Canute was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And he came up. It was like he was gonna slap him.
He said something like doubtful, like why it was something along the lines of like, why don't you help us, or why don't you give us love, or something along those lines. And he was like, do you doubt the Father's love?
Yeah.
And then he says he's looking for love, but then he just clearly said what he thinks love is.
Yeah. That's a good point. Do you think he came to the conclusion recently?
I feel like it has to be like a recent thing because he was directly questioning it where it was and what it was.
Yeah,
a little bit ago.
So maybe they both came to it.
Death is love, is basically what he said.
Yeah.
So he has to find. I'm just taking it as he has to find somebody that he really cares about, and they have to die, and that is love to him.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like. The sacrifice. See, here's the weird thing, and I'll backtrack to it because there's a moment he has in regards to thinking of Tors when Ulti and Torgrim mention him, which might have led him to this conclusion. Yeah. But today's episode, it sounded more nihilistic and not like what I would expect from what I thought he was having a revelation about. Where this sounded more like humans, because they're inherently bad, can never elicit real love until death takes them, because now the human part of them is gone. They're just part of the earth, and the earth is the only thing that God made that doesn't have to deal between light and good, or light and dark.
Yeah.
Double whammy. So I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't think he thinks humans are beyond saving. I don't know. Do you think that?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were looking.
No,
at me.
it was to both of you.
You go first. No, you go first.
He said yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily like what he meant. I think not that they're beyond saving, but it was like, I mean, it's kind of hard because Canute though at one point was like, well, why don't, like, he's like, I'm done trying to get your salvation because you're not giving it to us. You know what I mean? Like, you're not giving to God. Like, God, he was saying, like, you're not giving us salvation. Like, you're not giving us way. So I'm going to figure out how to make paradise on my own. That's what Canute said later on.
Yeah.
So, but I kind of felt like,
I want to talk about that too.
for me, I kind of felt like when it regards to the priest, that he was talking about like you said, humans inherently are bad.
Yeah.
And they can't truly love. And their love is not even real love, it's discrimination. And then he goes on to talk about like things of nature, like that are like I felt like almost like, I know because he said discrimination, that's kind of like the first word that came to my mind, but like unbiased. You know what I mean? Whereas like if you truly loved, you wouldn't have
unconditionally to everyone.
Unconditionally to everyone and everything. Like you wouldn't have an opinion or a feeling about rocks, ants, spiders.
I wouldn't
your
love
neighbor.
Adam more than you.
Yeah,
I would love you guys.
But like
evenly.
inherently as humans, like there's gonna be a moment where like Adam loves Sam more than he loves Will, because that's just like how humans operate.
Yeah.
But so like you can't truly love someone, hence why you discriminate people.
I don't want that to happen. I love you both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
that's
that
fine, but like everybody, like, you know, the
it
joke.
actually works. It's like family. Like people always have family. They always have family first in their bios.
Yeah.
Like because they're always more
shit.
better than
Everyone else.
your friendly neighbor or your stranger or the homeless guy down the street.
Or like everyone jokes too. It's like you can't have a favorite child. Like if you have multiple kids, like you can't have a favorite kid.
Yeah.
But like, let's be real.
People like their top
there are
five.
some people that have favorite kids.
People
you
like
know?
their top five and
Was
their
it not
characters.
like? It's also like a best friends versus your friends.
Even
like
that.
you two are like my best friends, but I have
other
friends.
people that are your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's where I feel like the difference lies, and that not necessarily that like death. Because at first when he said death, I was like, oh, so that mean like someone have to, like, is he going like the like Messiah route where it's like somebody has to die for you, that means they love you? But I don't think that's the point he was making. I think it's just that like because they're dead and they're no longer, like you said, inherently human and like alive, they are now like willingly give, like, because he showed the analogy of, or like, you know, that guy's dead and then
the circle of life.
yeah, like the circle of life. Your body is now going to be given to the earth and
fertilizer,
the animals.
You
Freely.
sacrifice it. It's like you didn't choose to, but now you are a sacrifice to help other things.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
life.
But in as willing as a regard as you can when you're dead, but like a willing, like, I am now giving back to the all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
what's the Full Metal thing that all
all is one and one is all.
Like I feel like that's kind of like where that is like
which is
relating to
weird. And that's why I want to go back now to the Tor's thing. So he had a freak out that I know it's been a couple episodes. Torgrim and Otley were talking about this Grand Warrior, which is of course Tor's, but Willibald didn't know who they're talking about, and they were saying how the guy was stupid. He just threw down his weapon, said a true warrior doesn't need weapons, and died for his son or whatever. And he was like, "Who are we talking about?"
Yeah.
Which I'm sure in his mind he mentally imaged Jesus, and then was trying to figure out who is doing the example of the exact replica. And then he just like had a spaz and ran off, or just sat there in shock. So
yeah. But I guess
he was like looking for love in that moment too. Like he was like,
Is that the definition of it?
Yeah, maybe looking for an answer. But then we the scene cut and we went away.
But I feel like it kind of makes that kind of falls in line too with like that ideology, because
Jesus being the high standard in his mind.
Well,
and no one living
but not
up to
just that,
it.
but like what Tor's does, because Tor's, if he really loved his son and he
made
loved
the
his
sacrifice.
family, well, not just that he loved. But okay, let's go with the human version first. If he really loved his family, like he might try and like fight to keep them, or do something that would be like more, like, it's not beneficial for you to die in front of your son.
Yes.
Even though he made a promise, you know what I mean? Like, all that stuff. It's not beneficial for that to happen. But he did it as, like, I'm just going... Like, you know, he didn't want to hurt or kill anybody. He didn't kill anyone. Like, so he tried to do something to, like, be good to everyone in that moment. Like, be good to Askeladd.
He's not sending everybody to judgment right away. He's, like, giving time for everybody. So he's basically doing nothing.
Yeah, it's almost like doing nothing.
So he's not affecting
yeah.
anyone's judgment when they go to their death.
So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. I do like it, though. I like the idea. And I like the idea that you talked about, like... Well, because it makes sense now why... Willibald would be interested if somebody reflected Jesus, because the whole point of God giving Jesus to die is because it's basically showing that Jesus isn't worth more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving my son to die, become a human, die like a human, so that everybody else can be saved.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Speaking of biblical stuff, they even did, like, Adam and Eve imagery in this episode. Talking about that was probably the craziest moment for me. Everything from when Canute started, I don't know if it was Canute or Willibald, just going off about how humans since the day of like original sin or whatever occurred. First. Everything from that to like the possessed mushroom guy. I mean, he was on mushrooms, but I think the insinuation was supposed to be like more biblically paralleling of like a possessed person, which was weird and kind of cool at the same time because he just came up and like had like it was definitely like a Bible moment. He came up and just touched the man and then
he snapped it back.
Gave him words of like, hey, stop it.
He enlightened him.
And Bjorn's eyes just get dilated again. Or like, I guess, appear anime style.
They rolled from the back of his head back to the front.
I don't know. Everything from the music and the imagery that they chose was just so crisp for me. Gave me like weird chills. And then Canute's ultimate conclusion by the end of this was like a defiance against his own personal religion, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like, fuck God.
So I was about to ask that.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like he was like, if you're not going to give us salvation...
I'm going to find it on my own.
We're going to make it and make paradise on our own.
Which is interesting, because salvation... I guess, I don't know. Because, I mean, that's not technically how salvation is supposed to work by the books.
But I think, I think what he means by it is, like, we're supposed to, like, follow this religion and get this love and stuff, and it's like, it's like you have, like, the ability to give us that. I almost feel like he's looking at God as, like, okay, we messed up. Yeah, we messed up. I get it. But, like, you have the ability to give us, like, this, like, peace and fix things. And, yes, maybe we have to accept it, but it's like you're not doing anything to fix it. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, you have someone, like...
He doesn't like the idea of free will, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
essentially, Canute doesn't want to live in a world where free will exists and people can choose to be bad.
Kinda, yeah.
Which, I mean, alright. So, he wants fate. He just wants to be in paradise.
Yeah, right? But I don't think it's like him necessarily being like, why are humans have free will? It's more so like, you have the ability to make this all good again. And it's like, we're just running around like killing each other, doing, bad things to our kids and wives and friends and girls, and, we're stealing from each other, and like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, this is all happening, and you have like the keys to like the freedom, like, why aren't you giving it to us? If you're not going to give it to us, then I'm just going to go do it on my own. That's kind of just how I felt that, like, at that point, he was like, we're doing this on my own, go heal his wounds, shut up and follow me, be my vassals.
Which is technically, I guess, what the purpose of even free will is supposed to be, like, his revelation is like the conclusion he should have, because if he has the power, he can literally make things better for everybody else. So, in a weird way of his defiance, he's going to do the one thing that I'm sure his faith would want him to do the whole time. So, sorry, camera cut off. I was just saying it's funny because I feel like now with Canute's defiance, he's going to go do the very thing I would assume his God would want him to do with the free will, which is, you don't like that the world's evil? Well, good. I let it be free will so that man could fight the bad and make a world that's good. Like, you're literally going to cowboy up, be on a pedestal, and force these dumbasses to stop killing each other for worthless fighting, like Willibald is saying. Which is even what Canute's saying. He's like, yeah, Bjorn, like, I get you. You just took, like, 7 daggers for me, but you didn't have to.
Yeah.
The people who are killing each other, they didn't have to. I wonder how he's going to deal with Thorkell.
Yeah, he said he was going there.
He's going to Thorkell, who bloody loves fighting, who's,
Yeah.
like, the type of... The literal type of figure that causes man to be like man.
Yeah.
So how are we going to deal with this? It's like a... What do they say? Immovable object with a non-stopping Unstoppable force.
Yeah, I don't know how he's going to reason with him. He's probably just going to be like, do you like Thorfinn? And he's like, yeah, he's cool. All right, fine, I'll listen to you now. That's probably how it's going to be.
I liked you said Ragnar was like the typical dad, just a big dude you want to hug and all that. Thorkell reminds me of that crazy uncle that you would like to hang out with, but are also scared to hang out with.
Yeah.
Always shows up to the parties a little drunk,
Yes.
telling you stories,
Yes.
like war stories that you didn't ask for.
Yeah.
I had an uncle like that. He gave me a Bowie knife for Christmas, like this big ass dagger.
Gas.
When you were
And he was
4.
like,
That's not gas anymore.
Definitely when I was like in middle school, and he's like, yeah, I never kill anything with it, but maybe you will one day or something. Like that. I just remember being like, okay. And I was playing Call of Duty as a kid then, so I was like, yeah, I love Bowie knives. I've never used it; it just sits in a little thing, but yeah.
He's lying. He always uses it.
I do sleep with weapons near me just in case Michael Myers shows up one day. You gotta prep.
You're wearing your Michael Myers shirt from last year's Halloween.
I am. Christmas episode. Mando, go check it out. The premiere, one of our first big videos.
Christmas?
It was the Halloween.
It's Halloween.
I literally just said Halloween.
Yeah, I know. It's just Christmas colors, so that's what I think. And we got a tree, so my mind is not in the Halloween world. Yeah, good episode, though.
Yep.
Very good episode.
And I'm surprised that Flock's the voice. That's actually cool. I learned that recently, so I think that's pretty...
That's awesome.
That's epic.
I still, for some reason, want to look it up.
You don't think it's Flock?
I don't. I just want to see.
We barely even... Flock was very small in Attack on Titan, so
Yeah.
he doesn't have like a distinguishable voice. I think of more Canute than Flock now.
I couldn't even tell you what Flock sounded like.
Same.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I was getting hardcore Aaron vibes from Canute.
Good news is, I think the fighting is going to settle down, so it looks like Otley, Torgrim, and Askeladd will probably survive for a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. Do you think Bjorn will be fine?
I was about to ask you that.
I hope so, because I like the dude.
Yeah, I hope so. I feel like it would be like kind of unresolved if he just died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we barely talked about Bjorn last episode, but what I do like about Bjorn is the past like 7 episodes maybe he's been worried about Askeladd and like nervous about him, and yet when Askeladd told him to take the prince,
He still followed.
he still followed and like had faith, like, you know what, he just called all the Danes assholes or evil,
But he
Except
still
for me.
trusted
but like
Yeah.
I'm still with this dude. Like, he trusted me, a Dane, to still watch his back.
I don't think Bjorn was there for that speech though.
He
No,
was. He was
he
on.
was?
He was on the cart.
He was sitting on
Him
the
and
cart.
Thorfinn
Oh,
were both
okay.
on the cart.
Because he, at the same time he's giving the speech, he's like looking around like, what the fuck's about to happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when he's running, and one of the brothers shows up and says, "Oh, Bjorn's just a dog. All he does is follow Askeladd." I was worried, thinking, "Oh, now he's not gonna do it." And then Bjorn's like, "It's a good thing you guys know who I am, because I'm absolutely gonna follow Askeladd."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's really badass, actually."
He loves Askeladd.
You know, it's just cool because you wouldn't think that he would want to stay after
Yeah.
being called a dog.
What was
Yeah.
the same thing of Askeladd? Like he said, you know, like I choose my leader.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna choose the one that I follow. Like no one else is gonna do that for me. So I think Bjorn probably took that to heart too. Like like I choose who I want to follow. Not
It's a solid time to have that conversation before shit went bad.
Askeladd. I think knew that was gonna happen. So.
Yeah. Askeladd's kind of a genius.
Just based off of the intro, I have a feeling Askeladd is not gonna make it.
Yeah, maybe not long, but I think he'll make it out of this winter storm. I think we'll get to whatever town the brother conflict occurs in. Maybe all these guys will that'll be Canute's first win, is killing off his brother who wants him dead. And maybe that's where the season ends off.
Guys, I had to burp. If you like this video, leave a like, the subscribe, the comments, the noties, the Patreon,
The good mornings and
the
good
good
nights.
mornings, the good nights,
What's up?
the Sams,
Hey!
the Adams, and the
Adam.
Will. Check us out next time on Vinland Saga. We're gonna punch it.
Love ya.
Bow!
God.